Hey everybody, welcome to your hurricane version of Philosophy 102. I'm going over homework 2.2 because I had assigned that last time. We need to go over that, and we need to get a couple things under our belt, and then you'll be ready to take the quiz. Exactly when the quiz is due will depend on the outcome of our hurricane situation. So I'm on 2.2, that's page 209 in the text, and we're doing substitution instances. And I'll do the odd problems in this and leave the even ones for you to do. So I'm on problem number 3, and we have the argument form, box or circle, not box, and then circle. And this argument form is known as disjunctive syllogism. It's logically valid. And then what we have are a number of instances of specific arguments, and we want to know if they are instances of this argument form. Okay, so let's take a look. So we have not Z or A, not Z, and then we have A. That's, well, A. Let me write up B on that. Not Z if and only if B, or not A or B. And then we have not Z if and only if B, and then the conclusion is not A or B. Okay, so let's do these two first, and then I'll do C and D on number 3. Okay, so the question is this an instance of this form? So the first thing I notice is that the first premise is a disjunction. So when I look through my premises, I want to make sure that I, if need be, rearrange the premises such that the first premise is a disjunction. But here, premise number 1 is a disjunction, okay? So let me see if this fits. Box or circle. So in order to make this look like that, I have to say that not Z is equivalent to a box and A is equivalent to a circle. So wherever I see not Z, that's a box. Wherever I see A, that's a circle. So I come down to line 2 and I see a not Z. Remember, it's not Z. Not Z is box, so I end up with not box. And we circle A's. And now let's look. We have box or circle, not box, therefore circle. So this would be a substitution instance of disjunctive syllogism. Okay. Let's come down to this argument. Remember, the first premise is a disjunction. The main logical operator here is a disjunction. This is a disjunction. So let me make this fit into that form and then see if we can continue with the same kind of substitutions consistently and it reached this form. Okay, so I need to call all of this box and I need to call all of this circle to make this look like that. So wherever I have not Z if and only if B, that needs to be a box, and I see that right here. So notice there's a negation outside. And then not A or B is a circle. Now let me look. Yeah, we have the same argument form. So B is also a substitution instance of disjunctive syllogism. So now let me do the last pair for this. So C is Z or A. Second premise is not Z, and the conclusion is A. And on D, we have Z if and only if B, or A or B. And 2 is not Z if and only if B, and then the conclusion is not A or B. Okay, first things first, this is a disjunction, that's a disjunction, so I don't need to reorder premises. So I'll call this a box, I'll call this a circle. So wherever I see Z, I make it a box. So here's the Z right there. So I have not box, and then A is a circle. So now the question is, does this argument form match this? Well, notice the difference on line 2. We have a not box, but here we have a not box. So they're not the same. So this is not a substitution instance of disjunctive syllogism. Okay, let's look at D. First line is a disjunction, so we can start right up. Z, if and only if B, I'll call that a box, or, and then I'll call A or B a circle. So Z, if and only if B is a box, so this is not box, and down here, A or B, so this is a not circle. Let's see if it matches. Essentially, we have here box or circle, not box, therefore not circle. But what do we need to get to? We need to get to box or circle, not box, circle, and we have a not circle, so D is not a substitution instance of disjunctive syllogism. Okay, are there any questions about that?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
For A, for line 2, it's a not Z.
Yes.
So that would still be substitution instance, or?
Well, okay, so we let not Z in line 1 be a box.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever we find a not Z,
Oh, okay.
right? And so we put the not Z gets broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a not and then the not Z in a box. And that ends up being the same form as line 2 on the argument type, right? So that would take me to 5. This one is a little bit more of a more complicated argument form. It is called constructive dilemma. You'll often hear me call it a complex dilemma, but technically it's constructive dilemma. It goes like this: box or circle, if box, then triangle, if circle, then diamond. That's supposed to be a diamond, and the conclusion is triangle or diamond. Okay, so, and we'll take these one at a time. So the first one, A, this is A, says not P then X. 2 says not P or B or F. And 3 says B or F, then Y. And the conclusion is X or Y. Okay. If I look at this argument form, I notice that the first premise, the main logical operator, is an or. And I notice in line 1, the main logical operator is a then. So I want to reorganize this argument so that it more closely resembles that, and then we'll see if it is a substitution instance. So line 2 has my disjunction on it. So let me write that as the first premise. So I can reorder these premises. And then also notice that the second line is a conditional that starts with the first disjunct. So I have a conditional here and I have a conditional there. The first disjunct is not P, so I'm going to write this line second. Not P, then X, and that will leave this last line B or F, then Y, with the conclusion X or Y. Okay, so let's start assigning variables. Box or circle. Not P is a box, so we'll put a box right here. This is something new, so to try to match this, I'm going to call it a triangle. Down here, B or F, we've already called a circle. Then Y is something new, so let's call it a diamond. Okay, and now X we've already called a triangle, and Y we've already called a diamond. And if you look, this structure matches this structure perfectly. So this one, 5A, would be a substitution instance of the argument form constructive dilemma. Okay, so let's look at B from the same problem. Got not P, then not X. 2 is B or F, then not Y. And 3 is not P or B or F. And then we've got the conclusion, not X or Y. Okay. Now, I think right away I'm going to need to do some reordering because we would like to start with the disjunction. That's easier. You can do this in your head, or you can rewrite it, which avoids mistakes. So not P or B or F. Now the second line begins with is a conditional that begins with the first disjunct. So I'm looking for a conditional that starts with not P. There it is on line 1. So I'm just going to write not P, then not X. So this stays. So then this one would be third, B or F, then not Y. And then the conclusion is not X or Y. Okay, so now let's see if it matches this structure. So in order to try to match the structure, I need to let the not P be a box, and I need to let all this be a circle. So wherever we see these things, we have to assign box and circle respectively. So not P is a box. Then not X, that's something new. Since we're trying to match this, let's let it be a triangle. Okay. Next line, B or F, which we've already said is a circle. Then not Y. Not Y is not assigned, so let's assign it a triangle. Okay. So now the conclusion is supposed to be triangle or diamond. So now look right here. We have a triangle, which is not